Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtadar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk about the United Nations General Assembly and the developments at the UN with regards to Palestine and its impact on Palestine as well as on Israel. So that is the goal for today. And the first thing that I want to do is I'm very, very impressed by the emphatic manner in which Donald Trump has said no to annexation of West Bank. So the first thing I want to do is actually share that video with you so you can see that, and then we'll talk more going forward.
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay?
I mean, this is tremendous. The emphatic statement by Donald Trump saying enough is enough. I'm not going to allow the annexation of West Bank. By enough, he basically means that it's time to put an end to the genocide in Gaza. Even Donald Trump, who did not have a single word of empathy or sympathy for the Palestinian civilians, and over 65,000 who are dead. And let me tell you, that number 65,000 is a very low estimate. There are already estimates coming out of Israeli universities, and American universities say the number is probably more than 2 or even 300,000. Because if you find a hand, if you find a leg, if you find a torso, you don't consider that as a dead person until you find a full person, or at least a head, and are able to identify that person as dead. So there are lots of dead bodies hidden under the debris. It'll be a long time before the complete humanitarian catastrophe that Israel has perpetrated on Gaza is estimated. Okay, so it's going to be a long time, and even for such a devastation, Donald Trump did not have a single word of empathy or regret. He expresses empathy and regret every day for Ukrainian soldiers and Russian soldiers who are dying in the war in Russia and Ukraine, but he never ever seems to have any sympathy for Palestinians, even children, even civilians. The definition of terrorism is killing civilians for political purposes, and what is going on in Gaza is nothing short of wholesale terrorism. So anyway, let's talk a little bit more about what has happened. I don't know whether everything that has happened at the United Nations will improve the life of Palestinians. I mean, there are people who are starving in Gaza. Will they even get an extra drop of water to drink, or even a loaf of bread as a result of everything that has happened at the United Nations? I don't know, and I will not be surprised if nothing happens, in spite of all the politics around Palestine that we have seen at the UN General Assembly. I will not be surprised if it doesn't help a single child in Gaza to get a piece of bread. Having said that, let's see what happened. One of the most remarkable things was the recognition of Palestine by so many Western countries. For those of you who are not familiar, by 1980s, already most of the Muslim world had recognized Palestine as an independent state. India was the first non-Arab, non-Muslim country to recognize Palestine as an independent state. But you must remember, at that time, Narendra Modi was not in power, BJP was not in power, so that happened. It happened because Congress was in power in India at that time, and they had a lot of sympathy for people who are oppressed. So it was under Congress. India was against apartheid in South Africa. India boycotted South Africa and helped South Africa become independent of the racist apartheid white nationalist regime of South Africa. I think if Modi was prime minister at that time, he would say, "Oh, I'm so friendly with the president of South Africa. We have some interests, and we get some very special things from South Africa. So I will be neutral, and this is Chanakya Niti," or some bullshit like that. Modi would have said, and probably not opposed South Africa's apartheid regime, which was perhaps the most racist regime in human history, only to be matched now by the apartheid that Israel is practicing both in West Bank and in Gaza. But anyway, so there are a lot of countries which have now sort of recognized Palestine, the most prominent ones among them. Let me tell you, since 2023, which are the countries that have recognized. So, for example, Mexico recognized in 2023, but it was an ongoing process. And in 2024, after Israel's revenge war on the horrible terrorist attacks on Israel that came from Hamas on October 7th, after that, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, the Bahamas, these are all countries in the West Indies. Indians mostly know about them through cricket. Recognized Palestine as an independent state, and then the Europeans came to the table. Norway, Ireland, Spain. Spain and Ireland have been such champions and breaking away from NATO, breaking away from European Union, breaking away from their leader, the United States. They have stood up for the rights of the Palestinians. In bravo to both Ireland and Spain. Slovenia, I'm so impressed, and Armenia also moved to recognize Palestine. This was in 2024. Then in 2025, the big guys, UK, Canada, and Australia. These are 3 of the 5 ICE countries. I don't know why New Zealand is not here. We can understand why the US is not here, because it does not really have strategic autonomy when it comes to its own foreign policy in the Middle East. Trump can say as much as he likes about America first, but so far, the last 8 months, except the current comment that he made, which I showed, it is all Israel first foreign policy as far as the US is concerned. We will see whether Trump stands up to his own words, because Netanyahu is coming to the White House, I think, on Monday. And will he force Donald Trump to bend the knee and make a U-turn on annexation in West Bank or not? We will see how that goes. There are other European countries which also recognize, besides the 5 Eyes countries, UK, Canada, and Australia, France, Luxembourg, Malta, Monaco, Andorra, Belgium, San Marino also recognized Palestine as a state. Now the total number of countries that have recognized are 159 out of 193. So this is a big development. Does France's recognition of Palestine change conditions? No. But increasingly, what the Israelis are trying to do is they are trying to eliminate the existence and the idea of Palestine and Palestinians and the possibility of Palestinian state ever happening. They're basically committing the genocide of an ethnicity, of a nationality. This is one of the most evil countries on earth today, without doubt. It is deliberately, systematically eliminating an entire people. And people like Mike Huckabee, who are U.S. ambassador to Israel, says he's defending the Western civilization. I guess the Western civilization expands through genocide and defends itself through genocide. Its history of genocide is pretty long. The Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were killed by the Germans, the Spanish Inquisition, we know all about that. We know about the genocide of Native Americans here in the United States. Most recently in Bosnia, there was a genocide. Yes, the Western civilization and genocide are like twins at birth. I mean, they are like twins. What's the word I'm looking for? Yes, congenital twins, or whatever they are called. Anyway, so this evil country had a very interesting awakening at the UN, where when Netanyahu came to give a speech, it became very clear to everybody that people would get up and leave when Netanyahu would give a speech. So the UN arranged for him to give an early morning speech, so there won't be many people to begin with, so very few people will be seen leaving. If he was giving a speech in the afternoon or evening, then the auditorium would have been full, and you would have seen like hundreds and hundreds of people marching out. Yet you can see how Israel has become a pariah state. I think, except the US and India, because of Modi's immoral character, that Israel has any international support. Other than that, there are nobody in the world who supports this country. So look at this video that I would like you to see of what happened when he started speaking.
Please order in the hall and please be seated.
So a lot of people got up. I was able to just get one of these videos, but if you go on X in the social media or Instagram, you can see photographs of empty seats where Netanyahu basically is speaking to an empty hall. Very few people were there, people from Mauritania. I don't know why some Indonesian people were there, but hardly anybody was in the audience that he was speaking to. And so, what has two remarkable things that has happened at the UN General Assembly. One is that Israel as a pariah state has become apparent even to those who have been trying to hide this from the rest of the world. Even Americans are now beginning to realize, oh my God, we think that this country is moral, is as a moral people, moral army. But look, the world shuns Israel. And then now you look at Palestine and the world recognizes Palestine. Let me say that again, the world shuns Israel and the world recognizes Palestine. That is one of the most remarkable things that has happened at the UN General Assembly this year. But I do want to say something that countries like Canada and United Kingdom have been very important, along with Germany, in providing weapons to Israel during this current genocide. There is no arms embargo. So they are recognizing Palestine because they are under pressure from their own public. But these leaders are not very democratic. When it comes to Israel, all Western values, all Western morality is locked up and the key is thrown away. So these leaders, under pressure from their masses, are pretending to do something, and what they're doing is absolutely, literally meaningless. They're just recognizing Palestine. So what? India recognized Palestine in the 1980s, and Netanyahu was getting weapons from India while committing this genocide. If there is a real international criminal court inquiry, India will also be on the side of the guilty as people who are providing weapons to the mass murderers. So that is a very serious scenario. So these leaders are tricking their own people. If you are in Canada and watching this show, if you're in England and if you're in France and watching this show, then please keep an eye on your own leaders and see if they are not sneaking weapons back to Israel to kill more Palestinians, to kill more women and children and starve them to death. Macron himself said to Trump that nothing is happening to Hamas. You're killing the leaders, but there are new members of Hamas. It's going on endlessly. So what is Israel achieved? He's destroyed the whole arena of Gaza, committed enormous and is exposing the moral shallowness of the Western civilization. They have power, but no morality. That is the message that Israel is sending. So we will see. Germany has not recognized Palestine, continues to support Israel. And Meloni, Giorgia Meloni of Italy, there was hints that she might recognize, and then she backed off, I think, from pressure from the United States. There are lots of rich billionaires who are supporting Israel here in the US and other places, and probably maybe she got some money or some pressure from some rich sources in the West that she backed off, but she had to face tremendous protests in Italy. The protests in Italy was stunning to watch because she refused to recognize. And so she's compensating that by sending 2 Navy ships to protect the Samud flotilla, which is trying to take aid to Gaza. This time it's going to be interesting because I think Navy ships from Italy, Spain, even China are protecting the flotilla, and we'll see if Israel will then attack that flotilla militarily. We will see what happens. Because if that flotilla, Samud, is successful in bringing some aid to the starving Palestinians, then it can become a successful model going forward. Now, coming back to India, I'm very, very disappointed. India likes to pretend that we are Vishwa Gurus, we are the moral example for the rest of the world. Shame on India. India has abandoned its moral position, and this whole pretense that we are realists, we are doing this for our benefit because I made some money on Russia, so we are supporting the war in Russia, and because I don't know what the reason for supporting Israel is, but or maybe because we hate Muslims, we are okay with Israel killing thousands of children. In fact, we love it. And so we are supporting Israel. And then you can't turn around and say we are worthy of moral respect, we are a great civilization, and so on and so forth. And what is interesting is that not all Indians are like that. It is just Modi government and his right-wing party and his right-wing supporters who have this absolute disregard for human suffering. Is complete. They are like immune to the suffering of Palestinians. No matter how many videos, no matter how many pictures they see of thousands of children and people dying, they have no humanity. I can understand that Modi is not human. He himself says, I'm not human, I'm non-biological. Okay, he's a robot. So yes, he has no heart, no feelings, that's fine. But what about the rest of the country? At least there's one person I was so happy and impressed to see when Sonia Gandhi wrote this article. This came out yesterday in the Hindu. She said India's muted voice, its detachment with Palestine. I think this is the second article she has written in the past 2 years. India needs to demonstrate leadership on the issue of Palestine, which is now a battle for justice, identity, dignity, and human rights. So unfortunately for, I don't know, whatever, this is not very smart of the Hindu to put it behind a paywall. Not many people can go and read that article because you have to be a paid member of the Hindu newspaper to read that. I think this is one of the articles that they should have made it publicly accessible. But thanks to Hindustan Times, go and read this article on the Hindustan Times. This is not behind the paywall. You can read this. Conspicuously muted, Sonia Gandhi calls out Modi's government's profound silence on Palestine critique. And she was on the mark. I am so impressed. I salute her for this particular article. I'm going to read some passages, if I can find them, for you from that article. She was just unbelievably clear. She made the point that unfortunately, this is what she says. In her article, she said, India standing on the world stage cannot be shaped by one individual's personal glory seeking. This whole idea that Modi is so great, Modi hai to mumkin hai, Modi magic. Look, Trump called and wished him happy birthday. Wow, 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 wow. India has become so great that Donald Trump made a phone call and wished Narendra Modi a happy birthday. The whole damn country is dancing as if, I don't know what, they won a big lottery or something like that. This whole idea that wherever Modi goes, they collect all these idiotic Indians who come there and dance, and they're trying to show that he's so popular. Really, the rest of the people don't. When he comes to the US, you don't see any other Americans in that audience who are greeting Modi or getting excited. But the whole foreign policy is now about glorification of Modi. And he has no values. His whole agenda has become about advancing his own personal glory in the past 2 or 3 years. Look at the disdain with which Donald Trump and his entire cabinet have treated India. Modi was not invited to the inauguration. He was desperate. Dr. Jaishankar spent 2 weeks here lobbying to get Modi invited. He did not get to do that. And then tariff after tariff, sanctions after sanctions have been coming on India. India's foreign policy has become a total failure, but nobody is willing to call that out. She also said something interesting. She said India needs to demonstrate leadership on the issue of Palestine, which is now a battle for justice, identity, dignity, and human rights. She also condemned Hamas, obviously, but something very interesting she said, which she said that, look, we can't rest on our past laurels. India can't say, oh, we are so fantastic because we recognized Palestine in 1988. But what have you done now? Modi's foreign policy will be tested and judged based on what position Modi has taken. You know, they made a big deal of, in India, they made a whole big deal. Even some Western countries made a big deal about Narendra Modi telling Putin that this is not an era of war. It was supposed to be something phenomenally moral and worthy of appreciation. Okay, fine, you said that. Why didn't you tell Netanyahu that this is not an era of war? If this is not an era of war, I don't know whether Modi understands the meaning of the phrase, this is not an era of war, which means ye yudh ka yug nahi hai. If this is not an era of war, it means there's not an era of war for him to attack another country. And he did Operation Sindoor. That was war. If this was not an era of war, that should not have happened, no matter what. And he did not tell Netanyahu even once in the last 2.5 years or 2 years, I don't know now, 2 years nearly that this war has been going up. It will be 2 years in less than a month. But not once has he said, and the whole Modi's administration, I know that they have no creativity or intelligence to come up with creative response, but I'm sure there's somebody in the IAS and IFS bureaucracy who could have taken their senses, this is not an era of war, and said, and also this is not an era of genocide. He can't say that. You don't have to do anything, man. Don't go save a single child. Secretly sell weapons to Israel. Let your cronies make money selling weapons which kill children and women. Do that, but at least be a hypocrite and go out there and say this is not an era of genocide. I'm completely disappointed with India on this particular issue. And let me tell you, people will hold India accountable for this. Every time India says, I want to be part of the global governance, I want to be part of Security Council, why should you get a seat on the Security Council? What would you have done? You would have become a proxy for Israel. So sometimes the US will veto no, and sometimes Israel will veto no, or India will veto no to protect Israel. So why should the rest of the world? It's enough that the United States is there, and it is only because of the US that Israel is able to do what it does. Not only does the US protect Israel, but also arms it and enables it. So I'm not undermining the culpability of the United States. The US is fundamentally responsible for this genocide. It's a co-partner. In fact, Mike Huckabee said that we are like a married couple. His recent speech that he gave to the 250 elected Americans who went to Israel. I don't know why a member of a council or a mayor has to go to Israel. But when they went there, Mike Huckabee said that we are like a couple, US and Israel. That's the metaphor he used. So yes, the US is fundamentally responsible for everything that Israel does because we arm it, we give it weapons, we support it, we protect it at the UN. India just wants to be there, I guess. So I don't think that on this particular issue alone, India's application to become a member of the UN Security Council should be rejected by the international community. It does not deserve to be in the UN Security Council. It will become just an instrument and a tool of Israel. It had become the tool of the US in BRICS and SCO. They talk about strategic autonomy. What was so great about India canceling the SCO summit that India was the president and chairman of in 2023? They canceled it, made it virtual, and made it irrelevant. Then Modi did not go to it in 2024 because he wanted to make Donald Trump, America happy. It's only after America just treated him like with disdain. I mean, America is just treating India as if it has no strategic value. Donald Trump yesterday hosted Shehbaz Sharif and Asim Munir and called them great leaders. And Modi is dodging and avoiding international forums because he's afraid to come face to face with Donald Trump. He's afraid of what Donald Trump might say. Donald Trump again at the UNGA said, I brought about ceasefire between India and Pakistan. So he's afraid that he might say something like that in front, and this guy will not be able to. Let me give you an example. For those of you who are serious students of foreign affairs, go and look at the video where at the G7 summit, Modi met the Prime Minister of Canada, Carney. Carney said very clearly that we are going to work together against transnational repression, which is what he accused India of, killing Canadians in Canada. But Modi did not say, yes, and we will also fight terrorism, we will fight separatism, or we'll go after Khalistani. Nothing. He just said, we are going to work on connectivity and education, etc. That's all Modi said. And so if he was face to face with Donald Trump and Donald Trump made fun of him, look at the way Donald Trump treated Zelensky. And look at the way he spoke with so much respect with Erdogan. So I think that India's foreign policy is not being served well at all. It has undermined India's moral standing, especially this Gaza issue. And if this thing goes on for another few things, when historians start writing this, I will write about it. I will write about the despicable record of India on Gaza. a moral catastrophe. There was a time when India stood up for the global South. India was a leader against the apartheid South Africa. But here India is colluding with the oppressors and then talk about being a moral power, a great civilization, etc., etc. Really? Go read the Bhagavad Gita, see what it says about fighting for dharma. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. I think the UNGA was important, but there are limits to what it can do. It cannot provide relief on the ground. But it is one thing is very clear that Israel has been exposed and has become a pariah internationally. But sadly, if this thing stops in another year or two, then the Western countries, thanks to billionaires who support Israel from America, will take money. American leaders have become shameless when it comes to money. You can't open your email every day here without everybody asking for $3, $2, $5. Some of them have the guts to say, send me $28. I thought that was interesting. But every day I get a message from Newsom saying, give me $3. Look what I told Trump. See, give me this. It's like money, 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 money. Money is destroying the democracies of the West. And Israel is very lucky at the moment that it has a bunch of billionaires. Even the sale of TikTok is going to silence Palestinian voices now, because the guy who bought TikTok, the CEO of Oracle, he is the biggest individual donor to the Israeli Defense Forces, even though he's an American. So yes, they are very rich supporters of Israel who will continue to buy the souls of American and European politicians going forward. And so Israel will be rehabilitated very quickly once they have finished and have satisfied with their killing and murdering and destruction of Gaza and genocide. So anyway, this is what I wanted to talk about today. Today it's about to get midnight and I'm in my office at the university today. But anyway, so we will see if there are any interesting questions or comments. And as I promised, I will obviously address those who are members of conversations. Samir Upadhyay, good morning to you. Sabun, good evening to you. And Samir again, why US lobby not interested in Gaza, sir? Are you thinking because our Muslims? No, obviously there is a lot of anti-Muslim and Islamophobic sentiment here, but the Israelis have also killed a lot of Christians. They have destroyed churches in Gaza. They have completely eliminated the Christian presence in Jerusalem, and yet Americans don't do anything. Look at American politicians, especially the Republicans. They pretend to be big Christians, right? Oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a true Christian, they wear crosses, etc. But when they go to Israel, they go to the synagogues, they go to the Wailing Wall, but they don't go to churches. They don't go to the birthplace of Jesus Christ and all the other holy places for Christians. I have not seen Republican leaders visit them. You don't see photographs and videos of that. Even if they are making visits, they are very private and hidden. But there's always everyone is wearing a yarmulke on their head and going there. It's like saying that Muslim leaders are going to Mecca, but not going to Kaaba, but going to some other religious institution. Who will take their religiosity seriously? Can you imagine that? So it's like that. So they're sold to the Israeli lobby that far more powerful in the US, because they have been powerful for a long time. They have twisted the laws of this country to make themselves more powerful. So, for example, America gives $4 billion every year to Israel. Israel takes that money, comes back. There's all this discussion going on with Charlie Kirk, who was so sadly killed, a very young man who was a hero on the right. And there's all this chatter going on that Israeli Netanyahu offered him $150 million for him to become more pro-Israel and less critical of Israel. So there is that money from American taxpayers goes to Israel, then comes back here, and then they use that money to buy American politicians. Lala Khan, yeah, he made that during the discussions, but I'm very impressed with it. I've never seen him talk. And look, If you look at the question that the reporter asked, did you talk to Netanyahu, saying, did you check with your boss? And he said, yes, I've talked to Netanyahu, and still said it doesn't matter whether I talk to him or not. I want you to listen to this again.
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay?
See, that's the key part, right? It's enough, now stop. It's not as if Israel has been annexing things. Israel has not annexed anything. I mean, recently, during this war, it's been killing, and that's what he meant. Stop, enough already. I think it's partly because of the summit that he had, the Islamic countries. He met with Jordan, Egypt, Indonesia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. There were 8 of them. I don't know who else I'm missing. And Pakistan, of course. And then he met Erdogan. So on the same day, and I think this was between the meetings between Erdogan and Shehbaz Sharif and Asim Munir. So they must have been telling them that this is the end. There will be no peace ever if West Bank is annexed, because that the U.S. policy is a two-state solution. Donald Trump has not said that I'm against the two-state solution, but Netanyahu now clearly says he's against. So Israel is now in violation of all the policies of all Western countries and the United Nations and the UN Security Council, whose position is a two-state solution is the just solution. There are only 2 countries in the world who are against the two-state solution. It's Iran and Israel. And see how we treat Iran. Sabun, that's interesting comment. Yes, very good comment. Yes, it has corrupted their soul. Even many Israeli scholars and thinkers and philosophers are going around saying that Israel is become an evil country, essentially. They may be powerful, they may remain rich, but and this is a spiritual crisis for Israel. I mean, they are going to be systematically killing an entire population. I mean, these are the people who made the slogan, never again, right? And they are doing it. What is this rubbish? Is it going on right now? Is there a genocide going on in Kashmir right now that you guys keep obsessing about it? Ask Modi. When did Modi speak of the Kashmiri Pandit genocide last? When did the genocide happen? There are thousands of genocides out there which have happened. The Armenian genocide happened. There was a genocide in Bosnia. Have I done a show on Bosnia? Why don't you come and ask me about that? What is this constantly? You're obsessed with this. Remain obsessed with this. What are you doing about the genocide in Gaza today? It's happening in front of your eyes. Nothing. Then on what basis are you demanding? What are you doing about the genocide in Gaza, which is happening right now in front of you? You're talking about something that happened in the 80s, right? You have a Hindu Rashtra there. You have a Hindu government in Rashtra. You go and demand of them. I'm talking about what I see right now. I'm not following some Hindutva agenda that I have to forget about it. Let's change the topic. Let's go after what can we find about to attack Muslims? Oh, let's go into the 17th century and attack Aurangzeb. No, I don't work like that. I'm focused on what is happening right now, right there. Samir, yes, I agree with you. It's very sad. It's very, very sad. And things are getting bad even in India. You know, look at what is happening in Ladakh now. I'm really worried about what's happening in Ladakh. It's a border state. If the Modi government comes down hard like they did in Manipur, where they gave away weapons to the Hindus in Manipur, and they went on a killing spree. They dragged a Christian woman through the streets naked. If they start doing things like that, then on the border, the minorities will then be, you know, they can get weapons from China, Myanmar, and here from China. So Ladakh is on the border. There's already Chinese, 50,000 troops right there. So it could become a permanent problem to India. But Modi is more worried about Bihar, 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 Bihar. I mean, I don't know. This is the worst guy, I think, on earth. He's sending money to women in Bihar to win votes. And the whole country is so dumb. They don't realize that this is a bribe. They actually are defending it. People come on the street. I've seen so many people defending it, saying that, oh, no, 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 this is not a bribe. This is straight up a bribe. Biden tried to do that here by canceling loans of students because he knows that they are his voters. College students are Biden's voters. And he tried to do that. And everybody here said, yes, you are bribing a constituency with taxpayer money. So he was taking money from people who don't go to college and was giving it to people who went to college and their loans. It is like that, giving 10,000 rupees to the women in Bihar. And that is the moral standard of India now, of domestic politics, bribery. The voters, if they are voting because they're getting 10,000 rupees, they don't deserve democracy. And if the leaders are using money to buy votes, and that using state money, this is not even party money. I can understand if the BJP is distributing its own money, maybe there might be some virtue in it. I can't see that either. But using taxpayer money, using money which is generated in taxes from Telangana and Tamil Nadu and Gujarat and Maharashtra to buy votes in Bihar. Lakshmi, I'm doing fine. I'm just a little bit angry, that's all. Thanks for asking. I'm not paying attention to Dr. Jaishankar anymore. Useless job. I really have. I used to respect him a lot. I reviewed his books. You can go. Those of you, my main channel is blocked in India, but those of you who can see my main channel, you can see I reviewed both his books. In fact, I did multiple. I did Hindi and English reviews of both his books, The India Way and the one on Bharat, also Bharat Matters. I did a lot of positive reviews of Dr. Jaishankar, but not anymore. Yes, Samir, this is very, very scary. People don't understand this. This is a failure of India's domestic politics. They're more interested, and it's not that they're stopping, with this whole issue of I Love Muhammad. They have gone and arrested 1,000 Muslims and filed FIR charges, and they are objecting to Muslims saying, I love Muhammad. So if there is a poster which says, I love Muhammad, why are you objecting to it? There are people going around dancing on airports and on railway stations, inside trains, disturbing the peace, and that is not a new tradition. It's very strange that these days Hindu religiosity has become so public. Like, why is your relationship with God has to be on TV? Why does it? Have you seen me posting videos of my praying? I pray every day. I don't post videos for you to see, oh my God, look at me, what a great person I am, I worship. No, but I don't understand this whole tamasha of people going on the roads and dancing. You want to connect with your God, try to do it in peace and calm and let it empower you and calm your soul and make you a better person. That's the purpose of religion. And I don't know why Muslims are copying this. There is no such thing. Just all these Muslim juluses that they come out with, this Bara Rabi'al, they are absolutely rubbish, un-Islamic, just, it's useless. Do you see anywhere in Saudi Arabia people going out in julus like that, or any Muslim country? People going on the streets and taking their religiosity? No, that's why you build mosques. You want to pray? Go pray in the mosque or pray in your house. Going on the streets with music and yuck. That's the sign of ignorance or awful. This is not Islam. But even if they are wrong in thinking that is Islam, if they just want to carry a poster saying, I love Muhammad, I don't know. We will know that you love Muhammad if you practice his principles and values in your life. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, you're not a Muslim, you're not a Muslim, you're not a Muslim if your neighbor is hungry. Do you worry about that? You want to be a good Muslim, you want to show your respect and love to Muhammad, make sure that your neighbor does not sleep hungry. Not walk on the stupid street with a stupid poster. Who are you trying to show? It's rubbish. But the Indian government has no business to allow others to object to this. And when they riot and just go after Muslims, they are just causing trouble for themselves. They're not going to be able to suppress 225 million people. Keep that. Take it from me for granted. The more you oppress them, the more you will tear your own country apart. Yes, Hindus will give you votes. Some Hindus, not all. Some Hindus will give you a vote because you are being nasty to Muslims. But what kind of a campaign is that? John Smith. India already recognized the Palestine under two states. They should have taken the initiative to encourage. Yeah, I agree with you, but this was done under the Congress government in the 1980s, John, not this government. This government would not have recognized it, I'm sure. There'll be some Israeli billionaire will give some money to somebody from the Modi's party, and that's enough. What do you mean not blame others? Who is blaming others there? If there's violence, we should not talk about it. We should not blame Israel for committing a genocide in Gaza. Dheeraj, how are you? Thank you for joining. Dheeraj is from Orissa. And a long-time supporter of Conversations. Always happy to see you. Yeah, that's a good thing. Not only that, he's building a huge ballroom. The ballroom is bigger than the White House, I think, in terms of space. It's going to accommodate close to 1,000 people, I think. I saw some pictures of it. And if you notice, he was showing that to the Pakistani delegation when they came to the White House. He was showing the mock-up. Yeah, I guess he seems to. I find that quite remarkable. Donald Trump, who talks a lot about wealth, is quite proud of the White House. And it is very clear that he's very proud of the White House, and he actually enjoys living there and wants to improve upon it. Very good point, Lakshmi. He's become inconsequential. During Operation Sindoor, he was like just irrelevant, And I mean, that was the time for him to step up. And that was the time when he was like saying, send a night watchman. I will sit down and I'll come back and bat later. It was very sad. Everybody knows that it's on many occasions it was Netanyahu who had disagreed and walked away from potential ceasefires, including attacking Qatar when the Hamas and Qataris were negotiating about Donald Trump's proposal. It's a different thing that America is completely silenced by the Israeli lobby. Otherwise, the American leaders should be able to speak up. Even those who are negotiating are able to speak up. Thanks, ZK. Let me just take out some trash. Yeah. Okay. I agree. This is the best comment for today, John. I love Muhammad should have been ignored, should have been simply gone unnoticed, but it gave an opportunity. This is a campaign for Bihar. So the Modi government is showing it's happening only in northern states controlled by BJP. So they are sending the signal to Bihari saying, look, vote for us. We are being so nasty to Muslims. Look, we have put 1,000 plus FIRs against Muslims. Please vote for us. This is their election campaign. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching Conversations and bearing with me. I was in a bit of an angry mood today. So please, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share. Oh, I want to show you something else. I'm hosting a conference. If you are in Washington, D.C., then please come to this event. I'm hosting it on October 1st. This is in commemoration of the Gandhi Jayanti, which is going to be on the next day. So we are trying to, shore up India-US partnership because it has taken a blow clearly in the last few days. So we want to talk about the resilience. So basically, we are trying to talk about the positive side of India-US relations and continue to talk about India-US relations beyond Trump and Modi. So there are reasons why India and US should be partners, and that is nothing to do with Trump or with Modi. So that is the goal, to say, look, there are natural, on occasions, India can be a potential democracy, etc. John Smith, thank you for your question. I will most probably be doing it on the Sunday after the second Sunday in October. So I will be sending out an announcement to members only. So please subscribe to members and become member of Conversations. We have regular Zoom conferences, and we will be having one within the next 10 days. Thank you, everybody. Bye.